everyone, and welcome to the Kittens of War Gaming Podcast, the gaming podcast where the Kittens of War gaming community speak about all things video games, video game reviews, overviews, and tons of just talk about video games in general. This week we are blessed with the presence of T-Mug Tom and Hey Hey Swan Boat. Say hello to the masses!
Hello, masses!
Hello, masses! And obviously my name is Turbo Tony, as you know, on the channel. So yeah, just the three of us this week.
Three of us. We could make it if we try. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You couldn't fight it. You couldn't fight
I
it.
couldn't fight it.
In the heart of you, Tom, there's a soulful energy, and you just need to get it out every now and then. You know?
I want adventure in the great wide somewhere.
Oh dear. So you could have the weirdest like Disney cover. Tom's Disney covers album.
Whoever the few listeners we have are just going to drop away that horrendous caterwauling.
You know what? They might have enjoyed it. They might have enjoyed it. You don't know. So.
They wanted to comment on how you know those lyrics.
And the best Disney film there is. Quote me.
Try and say that in front of my children, and they will throw literally dolls of Elsa in your face.
Well, I guess they should let it go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! I must have watched that movie hundreds of times. Listened to Let It Go thousands of times. Oh dear.
It's so good.
It's little kiddie crack, but for girls. It's like basically like for girls under 10 years old. It's basically crack. Essentially, it's drugs.
Haley's sister watches it. We put it on the TV, and she was sat in front, and she was belting every song out.
Yeah. Natalie, she loves it so much. She's me and Natalie. We are Disney princesses. We just grew up on this. Any girl brought up in the 90s, they're going to be Disney girls, especially us. You know, put on the TV while the parents go out.
But which Disney princess were you then, Haley? Because there's always one that you liked more than the rest.
See, I'm going to say the Little Mermaid, but then Natalie will say that she's the Little Mermaid because we both used to at night time we'd play. This is really off on a tangent, but we used to play with dinosaurs, my brother's dinosaurs, and then we'd always sing together with the dinosaurs, singing. Inverted commas, singing.
Part of your
world, yeah, and we could still sing it to this day, word for word.
I think every girl can, but
not every girl.
With dinosaurs,
we're special.
Sorry, with dinosaurs. That's the confusing thing for me. We've got dinosaurs going. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? So on, so on, so on.
Yeah.
You were about to start. I saw your mouth open.
I can't help it. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say my collection's complete? I'm not saying. I'm stopping now.
You already proved your acumen there, so that's fine. That's fine. I know we're so off.
This image. Haley gets started. Someone's going to jump in, and then all the girls are just going to be belting.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
That would be good. That would be good.
No, we have to get you girls doing "Let It Go."
Well, yeah, they know this bloody song, don't they?
So if the girls are doing that, can the gents do "Make a Man Out of You"?
I want Gaston's song from Beauty and the Beast. You know, where he's saying about how strong he is and everything. That's a manly ass song right there, Gaston.
I use antlers in all of my decorating.
Yes.
You're not a guy. No. They can do the final word there, but.
You know what's so funny is that we're going to have a new listener who's going to be like, I'm sure he said this was a gaming podcast.
this is just how we do. We just start off the first half hour tangent.
Technically, this is a gaming podcast because Kingdom Hearts 2 has a singing world in Little Mermaid's world, Atlantis. You have to sing.
Well, there you go, of course. You had to bring that damn game up again, but okay.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh dear. We'll definitely go off on tangent, but how are you guys doing this week?
Yeah, not too bad. Having a look, I'm starting Dragon Age Inquisition again. Starting from the very beginning, I'm just pushing through to the end this time.
Do it. The ending's good. I finished it this week, so...
Yeah, I saw, so I just figured I had to, because Stavel wanted to talk, Marzander even, wanted to do a Dragon Age special episode one day this year.
Oh, we will definitely do one.
I can take part in that, totally.
I'm hoping Haley will somehow, because she's got a habit of doing this, will suddenly just go, I want to play this game that Tom's been telling me about. Because you did that last week.
I'm going to make me on it.
That's how I do.
I can make me on it, and I'm really good at making people on these games where you have to use the sliders to adjust like the nose and the bridge and the
We've discussed how
jawline.
freaky that was.
Yeah.
Well, you see, you'd be good on sports games because they have all that stuff. So you need to get into sports games, Hayley. Start getting into FIFA.
NBA 2K15.
Yeah, that's it, Hayley. You got game. I know you got game hidden in there somewhere. You just got to get it out. That's all it is.
You got a game.
I can't understand sport games. I don't.
Ball goes in net. I say that though. I mean, I started playing and I was like, "What the hell is an off 3-sec violation?" And then I had to learn about the entire game and all the different rules. So. Yeah, exactly. So that's essentially the offside rule for basketball, and it's like, what? No one really knows what it means.
Is there a cricket one? I can do cricket.
Oh, I love cricket. Yeah, I've actually got 2 cricket games. Funny enough, I love cricket. Yeah.
And here's me suffering with everyone else out there who doesn't like sports.
I love sport. I'm the only kitten that actually really, really likes sports. That does the podcast at the very least, because I know we have a lot who don't do the podcast. I know there's a few. Yeah, I must be. Hey, is there any sports that you do like?
William, when he's not dying, he likes football.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
He's played a football game in his life.
I'm surprised he does, because it's... I mean, I kind of don't like it because everyone likes it, but then he's more of a hipster than me.
Oh, he really is.
Maybe it's because lots of people are starting to not like football that he's starting to like football. I'm onto you, Will.
The hipster phenomenon.
The idea that once something's gone out of fashion and it's okay to do, so...
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's the meta hipster.
Yeah, he really is.
So what have you guys been doing this week in terms of gaming experiences?
What have I been playing?
We both been playing Plague Inc. Plague, is it Plague Inc?
Plague Inc. for the PC.
Yeah, we've been playing that a lot.
We talked about that on the mobile special, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I've also, Dragon Age Inquisitions, Plague Inc. I've also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Neo Scavengers released full, and I've been tackling that again.
Yeah, I've seen
it released now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Version 1.0.
Nice.
I
always feel like celebrating a game that actually comes out of early access, because that doesn't seem to happen, you know?
Not often.
Yeah. So,
It is a depressing thing.
they should call it never access, the full game, you know? Yeah, I've been playing Papers, Please, which Hayley got me for Christmas.
No, I didn't.
Oh, sorry, Santa got me for Christmas. And,
that is a stupidly fun game. It's more fun than it should be.
yeah. Because you look at what you're doing, you're essentially doing a customs job. Like,
It's a bureaucracy them up.
Yeah.
You're doing paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just with a small inkling of story each day for you to get through. And but apart from that, I've been getting my teeth into. I'm a long player of Civilization, and I bought Civilization 5 ages ago, and I haven't really jumped into it. Now I am, and I'm figuring out all the things and how to win. And I've already figured it out because I've been a long player of the series. So I'm gonna have to up the difficulty before too long, because I've now destroyed 3 civilizations in less than 100 years. So. Which is not too good, you know. There's not many left really to fight against me. We started a multiplayer one though, me and Tom. So
yeah, did.
We'll have to get back on
that again.
Yeah.
Is that the one where Morgan became in?
No, that's Crusader Kings.
Oh, okay.
That was a beautiful moment though. Have we shared that on a podcast yet?
Well, we talked about Crusader Kings. Crusader Kings was one of the first ones we did, but we haven't talked about that.
Moment with Morgan. Me, Morgan, we all started playing the Spanish Brothers before Morgan... because he's a pro at this.
You were all convinced that Morgan was going to win.
Oh no, we knew outright he was going to win. He was going to beat us within a couple of years, really.
And then within a couple of years of just starting out, in game time, his character receives a bonce on the noggin and is incapable. So he can't plot, he can't do anything, he's got a regent
He doesn't have sex either.
And yeah, he can't have sex either.
Yeah. So he was basically stuck.
To carry on the game, because if you don't have an heir and you die, that's it.
Yes, you're gone. And it was just between me and Tom fighting each other. And then I was I was being really devious and trying to kill your children, so...
And to be fair, I was trying to kill your children, and put your pregnant wife and then your children.
As soon as he was born.
That child will die.
And then we played the other one where he was the king of France, and then we had a civil war which divided the entire country, and now all my troops are
We were
dead.
vassals to Morgan, and we just said, you know what? Because I think Morgan was almost expecting us to try and tackle him, and we were just like, nope.
We ain't even tried. We're not going to do it. I was more than happy to try and take his land when he was essentially, brain dead, like his character. But when he's got like a character that's fairly decent, I'm not even going there.
Oh, I see it, Tony. You're kicking when he's down.
Yeah, of course I will. That game is ruthless.
That's what you do with people bigger than you.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a bit of fun. We will have to get back into Civilization 5 again because that is fun.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, we can get into our gaming reviews. I didn't actually state what games we'll be reviewing at the start of the show. That's a fail by me.
Fail.
You in professional there, Tony.
Oh god. Well, yeah, that's it. Well, the gaming reviews that we've got this week, Hayley will be covering Long Live the Queen.
Also known as Pretty Pretty Pink Princess.
Pretty Pink Princess. I can only imagine. Tom is covering the Kickstarter comeback of Wasteland 2, which was a big release last year.
Oh,
Massive.
yes, it was.
And I'm covering SSX 2012, which was, the reason I'm bringing it up now is because it was actually released for free on Xbox 360 Gold in the second half of last month. So a lot of people picked it up, and the online community has had like an influx of people playing it. I'm a long-term player of SSX, and I will state that there's few games out there which I will be as confident going against someone at than SSX because I am a boss at that game.
Is it a snowboarding game?
It is a snowboarding game.
Ah, okay.
So, well, the thing is, right, it's a snowboarding game, but like it's not a snowboarding simulator because like it's bonkers, it's just all over the place. But I'll get into that with a review. So Tom, we've got you first, going with Wasteland 2. Tell us about this Kickstarter game and how it made a comeback. I mean, the first one was years and years and years ago. So
Yeah, the first one came out in 1988.
oh, my
Makes it feel old, doesn't it?
my birth year.
On.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's as old as us.
That
Jesus.
actually is weird.
It is kind of weird.
And this Wasteland was actually the godfather or the inspiration behind the Fallout series. As soon as I found that out, I was just like, "Ooh, colour me intrigued." But it stays true to the original system of how it was played. It was turn-based, party-based. Well, okay, this one is turn-based, party-based role, semi-overheads with rotational camera. It's tactical combat. Doohickey, doohickey, doohickey.
Yeah.
What?
Is it like turn-based or
Etc. Etc.
is it like turn-based
I know,
combat?
but like, so it's turn-based.
It's turn-based.
Okay.
Rotary camera, overhead.
Okay.
Isometric is the word, isn't it?
Yes, sure.
I bamboozled you with my gaming lingo right there. So
Don't bring technical terms. We're professionals.
this is not the podcast for that. This doesn't belong here.
That's why people like us. We are unprofessional.
Yeah, that's it exactly. We're endearing to the fans, shall we say? But go on.
Absolutely. More unprofessional than those professional unprofessionals that actually have proper subscribers
What?
and millions of people and pay money for all the nonsense. I don't know.
They're paid to just talk.
Yeah.
We could do that. People subscribe to us because we could talk and get paid for it.
Yeah, we'll take money.
I
We'll
would be
take money.
funnier.
Yeah.
It is a fact. I would be funnier if I was getting paid for it.
Yeah, it would be better if you paid us. Come on, guys.
I promise 100% more segues.
Good
If we were getting paid, we would even do a little cartoon at the beginning and end of each podcast.
We would sing for you.
You're going to have people wanting us to get a Patreon account now. I don't even think I'm ready for that, but
That's just scary. Let's wait until we get at least. I don't know.
at least the big change happens. That's got them hooked. The possible big change. Wow, they don't even know what's going on. They don't even know the plans. But yeah.
Ain't nobody know what's going on.
Yeah. So, Wasteland 2.
Oh right, yeah, we were talking about games. So yeah, you start off. The player creates a party of 4 player-designed characters, which are highly customizable. You get the choice of statistics, the skills, and your appearance, which will give them an individualized personality. The maximum people you can have in a party is 7 characters. 4 player-generated characters, and 3 NPCs, which you just come across in the waste out there.
That's a lot of characters to have in a party, actually.
It is, isn't it?
That sounds more like XCOM than, so more like less than an RPG team.
Like a classic 4-man fighting game sort of thing, like the
So if
dungeon
you
crawlers.
context, the original UFO games actually had like 20 or 12 people to a squad.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, the XCOM actually dumbed it down, didn't they?
They really dumbed it down for the consoles.
Although Suikoden has 6 characters, don't they, in their
They do.
team to fight? So fair play.
But yeah, I actually created the 4 cornerstones of the Kittens podcast. There was me, the bland, faceless assault rifle wielding leader who just talked to people because
Who's constantly depressed from playing depressing video games.
I was actually thinking of okay, this is how depressing I am. I was actually thinking of reviewing the game Thomas Was Alone.
See, that's actually a nice game, though. To be honest,
It's a lovely enchantable game. But yeah, I was going to create an autobiography of depressing series. The title book was going to be Without Sunlight, Without Friends.
No, wasn't that going to be on your tombstone?
That could be on my tombstone.
We
I
said
don't
we were
know.
going to put that in. It was me and Will saying we were going to put that on tombstone, didn't we?
Yeah, it's Rich Will talking about tombstones, isn't it? Because he dies all the time.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I can't believe I had to explain that one to you.
I
you,
forgot.
you shot him in the face like 5
I
times.
haven't. Okay, I'm sorry.
So yes, created me. Haley was the sniper. Well, she was the dexterous one. She locked picked. She cracked safes. She bust alarms as well. She was the sneaky one.
I got bendy fingers.
Bendy fingers. That's...
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We'll leave that to our listeners' digression, but okay.
Bendy fingers. Oh
I
god.
got really bad. Well, really bad. I got extreme hitchhiker's thumb when my thumb bends right back to a right angle.
Oh wow.
Just to freak out people
At the
there.
knuckle, yeah.
Anyway, we really cannot keep straight this year, can we?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2015 is going to be a year of just uber tangent. I can just see it happening now, you know.
Trees with branches.
Yeah.
It's not so much trees, but forests.
Let's talk about orange juice.
Now,
Yeah.
how the hell did we even get to trees? Anyway,
Characters, you did me. I was the lockpicker.
the bendy fingers.
fingers and
So-
the sniper.
Tony had the electronic weapons, the energy weapons, and he was the medic. The reason was that because
The medic.
he takes a lot of drugs, so I figure
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
prescription drugs before anyone says
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. It's not as if I'm like a guy like sniffing coke while I do the podcast.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical guy down the alleyway.
It's
No.
not. It's not like I'm taking. Yeah, no. Let's not talk about that. So.
And finally was Chris. He was the shotgun wielding
Lunatic.
lunatic.
Yay!
Demolitions.
I got it right.
He punched things for a living. He was the strong guy.
Do you know what? That does actually sound quite like Chris. You know, just the crazy shoot everything guy. Shoot first, ask questions
Rush up
later.
to someone, just pop a shotgun in the mouth, and just be like, "Hi."
It sounds like Chris. You know.
Yeah, and then we made friends along the way.
Did we? Are
Yeah,
you
we
sure
did.
Chris
Are you-
didn't shoot them all?
when you say Chris's character, it's like we made friends. How? How are we possible
It's
to make
oddly
friends?
enough, we did.
As you hold them at gunpoint.
You're my friend now. Except.
No, it's funny. We went to this I don't even know where it was, but this was part of the storyline. We went somewhere. There was a Native American lass being held prisoner. We went to the quote unquote guy in charge, and he just said, "What's the deal? Why is she locked up?" And she said, and he's just like, "Oh, we can't trust those petty Indian types. She might have been with the people that was raiding us earlier." Chris just went up and just said, "Give me the fucking key." Well, okay, there was a little bit more death threats and a bit more throat cutting symbolism being used. But
Okay.
that's just of it. Give me the fucking key. And yeah, we made a friend that way.
You say friend. It sounds more like a hostage.
You took control of this prisoner.
We just opened the door and just be like, "You're out," and she's like, "Cool, I'll come with you." All right, that's fine.
Probably a fear of being shot while she runs away.
You see Chris run, jump, and boom! Hop, skip, and a lost leg.
Okay, so essentially you have 4 players and 3 slaves, but yeah. You know.
That's what I
Who never keep their back to Chris.
Yeah.
He was always the one rushing up, just shooting people in the face. Although you were kind of running up with people as well, because with your laser pistol. Really effective, though.
Zap, zap.
Pew pew.
Zap, motherfucker!
With my jetpack, right?
I don't know if you can get jetpacks in this. I'm pretty sure you can.
Well,
Anyway, the game is set in an alternative history timeline in which a nuclear holocaust took place in 1998 in relation to an impact event involving a cluster of meteors sparked a global nuclear war. On the day of the cataclysm, a company of US Army engineers were in the desolate southwestern desert constructing bridges in the area with a small survivalist communities and newly constructed federal death row prison with light industrial facilities. Soldiers sought shelter in the prison, expelled the inmates, and invited nearby survivalists to join them shortly afterwards. Years later, they formed the Desert Rangers, the company in which you are a part of, in the great tradition of the Texas and Arizona Rangers, to help other survivors in the desert and beyond it.
right, so you're supposed to be helping people?
Yeah, we're supposed to be helping people. But the game takes place 15 years after the events of the original Wasteland, so I've got no idea what really happened.
I was gonna say, how did they survive?
This area was just sheltered from the nuclear mists that enshroud the entire area.
That was very considerate of the superpowers of the world at the time.
Apparently, yeah.
It was a desert somewhere. I doubt it had much, like, you know, like, meaning of attacking the place, you know, like...
There's not much there. I mean, you go around, it's just farming communities. Although, mind you, it did have a bunker in there, which is where the Rangers are now sheltered.
We'll take your damn crops by nuking them. That's what they're going to do.
But yeah, so the game starts out with the four of you. An experienced Ranger Ace is found dead by the locals with signs of violence on his body, which greatly troubles your boss, General Vargas. And just a few days after he was sent out, he was investigating a strange radio signal that speaks of man and machine becoming one, while threatening to attack and wipe out the Desert Rangers.
Dun, dun, dun.
So me and you guys to go out, find out who killed Ace, why they did it, and try and figure out his original mission.
And then you're set off into the world.
We're sent off into the world. Now, what happens is when you're on your map, you've actually got a limited... You have water, so you've got a finite... If you go too far without water, you start losing health, which I found a lovely little feature. And yeah, so when you go into your destination, semi-overheads, turn-based combats. Although after that, if you're not in combat, you do just wander around and just pick up little bits and pieces to trade and make money and improve your equipment. It's just lots of weird. It's a little bit quirky because it's you know in Fallout New Vegas when you had the Wasteland madness in which weird things would happen. Because things like spiked collar, this improves your charisma. I'm just looking at this thinking, ha. I'm pretty sure if I went out wearing one of these, people would just assume the worst of me.
You think you've come from some sort of dungeon, you know?
I'm Gimpy Terry!
Gimpy Terry.
So just
Gimpy Terry, the Desert Ranger. There is something special about that. Gimpy Terry, the Desert Ranger.
It's oddly enough, you can actually customize your characters to cross-dress.
Well, no.
No, I'm serious. There's actually one I was flicking through and suddenly I see a man wearing a bra and I'm just like...
Don't you have any fucking ideas when it comes to me, okay?
No, you were actually cool. You had your cowboy hats, you had... or what did you have? You know those Indian jackets with the long tassels coming down the arms?
Okay, yeah.
You didn't have chaps as well, so... You didn't have chaps.
Okay. I thought you said I did have chaps.
Boots and gun to your waist.
Just imagine me,
on your backpack,
trying to heal your guys, and I've got assless chaps just, flapping in the wind,
just that image flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
Chris was decked up in tactical armor. I wore a leather coat, and Haley long trench coat with goggles.
Yeah.
Nice.
With kind of cyberpunk hair.
That's the way of...
Chris had a military helmet on. You and I had cowboy hats.
And I had hair.
You were steampunk as fuck.
Okay, so what is the bulk of the game? Is it going out? Is it like you say it's a lot like Fallout? Is it going out getting quests, leveling up your team, that sort of stuff?
It is, but the Desert Rangers will be in contact with you. They'll essentially they will call you up every once in a while and say something weird's going over in this general direction. Would you mind checking it out? to which you either say yay or nay.
Yeah.
How do they contact you? Is it via walkie-talkies?
Yeah, by radio.
Okay, because I'm wondering about radio signals and towers and all that jazz, but I suppose it's been 15 years. Do you think if they set off a nuclear explosion in the desert that the sand would then turn to glass?
I'm sure it would. Intense heat on sand.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Ooh, that's cool.
it's an interesting idea.
But yeah, no, I mean, when you first start out, you're just going along. You find out what happened to Ace. Then suddenly you get a call later on saying you've got to approach one of these two areas. And of course, when you're in one area, the other place is calling you up saying, "Where the hell are you guys? We need your help. We need your help." Oh God, what's that coming on top of me? And then later on, don't bother coming. We're all kind of dying. Yeah. Click.
Never mind.
I don't know. Something happened, and I was just like, "Ooh, I need to save this place because this place makes much more sense." I suddenly go to the other place, and it's like, "What the fuck's happening here?"
Can you imagine a British version of that? Of like, you've got two places that need your help. Hello, chap. We really could do with your help. We're in a bit of spot of a bother at the moment.
No, never mind coming over. I'm already dying. I am perishing as we speak. Goodbye, old chap. Yeah, sort of thing. Yeah. It sounds like uber gentlemanly, though. You know.
It was actually annoying because this infuriates me, just from a British standpoint. Because you get to when you customize your characters, you can choose their religion, choose what brand of smokes they have, where they come from.
Yeah.
What if they don't smoke?
Well, then you just say none.
Okay.
Chris was the one who was smoking, actually, because no one else in our group smokes. He was smoking coffin nail cigarettes.
Okay,
Wow.
that sounds lovely.
Tough as coffin nails. See what I did there? But yeah, you've only got a choice. You could be American, Native American, Indian, Asian, or European.
Europe's a big place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With multiple languages as well.
If you mentioned that to any British man, say, "You're European, aren't you?" I'm pretty sure you would be slapped very hard.
But like European could refer to Italians, and we look nothing like Italians, or
We are.
Turkey is in Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Germany, Portugal, Spain, all different places, different
All
cultures.
different.
And they all look completely different. I mean, a lot of people in Spain actually look a lot like Native Americans. Because some of the natives look, that's the Spanish look.
That's racist.
Well, that's
I'm joking with you.
no, you can't.
Okay, now moving on to development. I've talked about the game. It's tremendous fun. I'd recommend it. So, yeah, in 2003, In Exile Entertainment was founded by the Wasteland's producer and co-designer, Brian Fargo. He acquired the rights from Wasteland from Konami.
Konami.
Hang on. Which held it in relation to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise.
Really? What?
What?
And let the rights lapse. Hang on. I don't quite get that. Wiki, what do you mean? So acquired the rights from Konami, which held it in relation to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. And let the... Anyway, 2007...
Essentially, they could have renewed the license, but they didn't. That's essentially what it is.
Held it in relation to the...
So...
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Fargo stated in 2007, "I am looking into bringing back the game that spawned the Fallout series. Stay tuned." So yeah, and then that's when... and hang on. Fallout fan website Duck and Cover reported the possible concept art images from Wasteland 2 displayed on the main header of In Exile Entertainment website. So they were... And for that time, they were just planning everything. Then in 2012... they announced their plans for a crowdfunded production of the new Wasteland game, inspired by Double Fine's recent successes in Double Fine Adventure.
Yeah.
So at least Double Fine did do something right.
To fund Double Fine Adventure.
I would argue that they did something right, but because they fucked it up.
Is it a game where they just all go to the pub and spend all their money at the local wine bar across the street?
What, the Double Fine Adventure? That's what became Broken Age, which isn't finished after $3 million.
Well, there you go. See, I bet it's just at the end you go to the wine bar and sit there and spend all the money. That's the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's just them wallowing around and all the money they got from people expecting a finished game. But
Ho hum. So Brian Fargo had reassembled the key team, which were members of the original Wastelands, and he even got the early Fallout games designer Jason Anderson, who actually left the company in 2010, and the composer Mark Morgan, who created the soundtracks for Fallouts 1 and 2.
So the classic isometric Fallouts, essentially.
So then this I actually found quite amazing. They were originally looking for a minimum budget of $1 million, but Fargo agreed to cover up to $100,000 if need be, should the project fall short.
Yeah.
Campaign's target was $900,000. Do you know what target they reached?
Go on.
$2,933,252.
Nice. People loved the original though, didn't they? They really did from all that time ago.
I found a review on Metacritic that I just found ridiculous.
What?
Where is it? This is my first time on this type of game. I previously played every Fallout, but let's be honest, Fallout 3 and New Vegas are legend compared with older Fallouts. So I was getting ready, no space, for a modern version of that type of game with awesome mission side quests, train your players, all have different perks. Well, I was wrong. None of this is the game. It's basically like the first Fallouts. Well, it sucks.
This review is littered with typos, grammatical errors. It's bad.
Hence the reason why I'm reading it in a dismissive zombie.
But, see, I don't take that review seriously because they said, I wanted a Fallout, something like Fallout 3. Right? Fallout 3 is a first-person game that is a lot more to do with the action, and there's interesting side quests. But, like, I don't have Wasteland 2, but I did look at it, during its build-up and everything like that. They never said it was going to be like Fallout 3. They said they were going to make an isometric, classic Fallout style game, So, like, that review's a little bit irrelevant. If he bought it for that, then he should have done his research before buying it. That's what I would say.
Well, if he's trying to compare it to if he thinks it's going to be like Fallout and then tries to compare it to it, it's not fair to compare it to other games.
I mean, if you look at the screenshots as well, you can see it's nothing like the first-person shooter that was Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. So,
what do they say? Instant forgettable play is boring gameplay. It's like Final Fantasy, but with awful graphics and no story.
There is.
Someone's like, it doesn't matter how good a game is, someone's always going to rag on it, isn't it? It doesn't matter.
But yeah, I think he compared it to, deleted game, worst game of two. Because there's no punctuation, I can't tell if he's called.
So wait, Brutal Brand 95. Could you please contact me about English lessons I can do to you in spelling, grammar, and punctuation? Okay. Then people will take your reviews seriously.
Yes. Yeah, I would say so. So, like, regardless of that, though, like, how far in the game have you got so far? Have you completed it, or?
Oh no! I've reached a point where I'm trying to find some radiation gear just to get me through the mists because it's getting a bit tricky right now. So yeah, seriously. I mean, you go through. Starts off level 1 radiation. You're a bit like, oh, this is nothing. Suddenly it bolts up to question.
Are there any crows?
There are no crows.
Okay.
That's an odd question.
Yeah, she's giving me a look, just like I've referenced something, Tom. I'm being clever.
Yeah, and it's just gone way above our heads. Yeah,
way above our heads.
No, sorry. Missed crows.
There's gonna be like someone like in the comments is gonna be like, I'm enjoying that, and they're stupid.
Aha! I didn't indeed see what you did there. Very good, you, Haley.
It's just because Tom was talking about Silent Hill this morning, and there were crows, and it was freaking him out.
Oh,
and
right.
I said, it was misty as well this morning.
Oh, how the hell am I supposed to know that? Like, I wasn't there.
I'm sorry, I thought that like mist and crows were like a trademark.
I don't think the crows are iconic part of Silent Hill.
Actually, do you know if for crows it wouldn't be silent?
That's very true.
No, if you said pyramid head or something like that, then that's.
Oh yeah, there are pyramid heads outside our door as well this morning. Yeah.
What?
I'm sure you've seen that. Well, okay, not quite, but some people do that, don't they? You've got some cosplayers around the world. They wait for a misty day and then they dress up in their pyramid heads and just loiter on the street corner.
No, someone did that.
Someone did actually, yeah.
Through that island, weren't they? I don't.
Serious, thick soup like mist, and he would just saw that and he thought, "My time has come."
Oh dear! And he just basically suited up and just like that must be so scary for anyone, even if you don't know what Silent Hill is.
It's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Wasteland 2. So you've got to like a certain point. How many hours have you put in it so far?
Oh goodness gracious! How many hours have I put in?
Sorry.
I have put in 21 hours.
Really?
And you're nowhere near the end, I'd state.
And I'm, oh god, nowhere near the end.
Yeah.
I don't know when you play it. Oh, I suppose I don't really pay attention to what you're playing very much.
No, you don't.
You last played it on the 8th of December.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very busy Christmas time, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Really, so. So, what kind of people would like Wasteland 2 then? Because while I disagree with that kind of boneheaded review, there would be some people out here who wouldn't like it. So, what other games would you state, if you like it, would you like Wasteland 2? What kind of games are like that? I know it's a throwback, but
If you're used to the newer Fallout series, and you don't like the first Fallouts, you're not gonna like this. It's gonna go completely off your head. This is for the
Patient player.
the patient player, the one who puts his eye down, just literally sits there, hands in a pyramid structure, and just plots out everything.
yeah, and soaks
This is for
himself
the-
up in the world and stuff like
This
that.
is this is not for the burly, manly men who just rush around with a giant sledgehammer and just cave things in,
Or the teenagers who like to think they are like that.
or the absolute cretins who think they're like that. This is for the strategy. This is for the strategy player, the guy who sits at the strategic player. Well, strategy is the genre I was going for, Haley. Don't take that look. Take that look off. And she would give me this look and just like, no, Tom, no correct English. Well, it's what? So yeah, the intricate player, because there's actually a few clever puzzles in there. Because there was one system you have to open a series of electric doors, but you've got to juggle the system very carefully. So you've got to rush through, turn some doors off, turn some doors on. Otherwise, you're never going to get through.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Is it a lot of backwards and forwardsing?
Backtracking.
Like,
not quite.
Okay.
No.
okay. But you've got to wait to build up your party and build up your game. You very much got to be there to be in the world as much as you got to play the story. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Slam dunked it. You got game, Haley. NBA 2K15.
So yes. What?
You don't know how to follow that up, do you? You haven't got the swagger for that, Tom. You need to get NBA, man. You get that swagger.
I just randomly put my arm up in the air. I'm sorry, it's a habit.
God help us when we get webcams.
I just like.
You're going to put your hand up.
arm
Tony's
in
going
the
to be like,
air.
Haley, you have a question.
I'm like, arm in the air, like I just don't care.
Over here. There's a party over there. I think I've reached the end of my little review.
So it's now time for Tony's segue, right?
Hang on.
See, the segues are like a side thing. You can't put spotlights on them, okay?
I've got to put my. I've got to say whether or not I give a paw of approval.
Oh yeah,
for this.
do you give your approval? Then?
I do give my paw of approval. I can imagine it would be not quite a specialist interest, but if you really want to enjoy it, you've got to be into this kind of game.
Yeah.
If you like these sort of games, yes, play it. You'll love it. There's nothing more interesting than just watching you and three of your good mates just wandering across the wasteland and shooting things.
Yeah, and it marks a big, comeback, because I mean, like I said, 1988. That was a game that was released ages ago. This game's got some length. It's got some legs on it,
It's funny, talking about legs. As soon as you start up, there's actually this screen of a giant mechanized scorpion, like 4 stories tall, with a Gatling gun sting.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
have you not seen that? Hang on,
Interesting.
Wasteland scorpion.
Okay, our listeners cannot see this, yeah.
Well, this is for Haley's benefit, just so she could. This thing right here. Look at that.
Oh man, I tell you what, Tom, you're treating Haley like a queen, and that leads into our next review, talking about being treated and living like a queen. Long live the queen. So, as Tom is doing that, right now, I'm just going to keep on going forward. So this is a game that I've actually seen this. I've actually know what it. And did you say it was like Pretty Pink Princess?
Pretty pink princess.
Pretty Pink Princess.
Yep.
And it's the art style is certainly interesting.
anime, kawaii, whatever
Yeah.
manga thing.
Yeah, it's very anime. It's almost an interactive comic, graphic novel.
Visual novel.
It is. It's a visual novel. You control it in a way. There's a story that you play it. It's very easy to die, which is kind of the point of Long Live the Queen. You can die in so many ways, from like poisonous chocolates to getting stabbed in the heart to like arrow, drowning. How else can you get bitten by a snake? You can die that way.
Okay.
Magical MacGuffin gone wrong.
Magical MacGuffin gone wrong. You could lose a duel. There's just so many ways. How many else have I died?
How many times have you died?
How many times? I've died so many times, and there's different endings as well. Well, it all ends the same way at the end. You become a queen, but you have the after bits, which says how she lived her life, so like who she married and how the people respected her and other people, and that very much changes and will be altered depending on your decisions that you've made throughout the story. And I mean, you could not be interested in that, as some people aren't, but if you are interested in the story to see how well you've done, as to see how well your decisions have impacted people's lives, then that's good. And if that is important, I played it better than Tom. So
Really, that's all what matters, you know.
sorry.
That's all what matters, you know. Just playing.
Exactly. Well, Tom did play. No, Tom finished it for me, but I finished it better
How did you finish it better?
because all my people were happy.
My people were kind of happy.
They were depressed from the games you've been playing, Tom. I'm not taking that.
My dad was alive, and he went off and married his love.
Okay, my dad died. I'm not going into it.
Okay, all right. Well, Long Live the Queen has been mentioned on quite a few gamers already, actually, around the place.
We actually got the reference from
Pretty Pink Princess.
from the co-optional podcast.
Yeah. It was published and developed by Hanako Games.
Hanako.
Hanako. It's kind of. It feels very much like a lot of these anime games that are coming out that are very much, oh, look, it's cute and it's pretty. Like My Hato Boyfriend. Hato Boyfriend. And then these other ones with anime girls, and a lot of it is all.
Go, something.
Yeah,
nonsense.
and I mean, a lot of them verge on softcore porn, to be honest. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
like, what is it? I remember, like, I used to, like, sift through all, like, the Xbox, like, indie section. And,
Yeah.
like, there's, like, tons upon tons of these games. And you don't know what the game's about, but, like, the cover of it is just an anime girl with basically her tits out. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, what does that have to say about the game I'm about to buy? Or,
Exactly.
like, or, like, anime dating simulator. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there it is. Go Nippon. This is on Steam, $6.99. These are the tags that I saw, and it's just, hang on, Steam's taking one to load. There we go. These are the popularly used to define tags for this product: anime, visual novel, adventure, cute, nudity.
Say as well, this picture that's on the store page has the girl in a jumper with big boobs, her arm pushed against her boob, so it's bulging, but then it's shining on her jumper,
oh,
on
okay.
her boob.
So
It's
it's
kind
a
of like
shiny jumper.
jumpers aren't usually that shiny.
This is actually quite creepy because all the girls have got the most over-exaggerated "I'm listening to what you're saying" faces on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Leaning in, listening
There's another one, Nico Para Volume 1, and it's asked me for my birth date before I
Need to promising things.
exactly.
Anime, visual novel, cute,
Oh no, yeah,
indie,
it's
nudity.
the anime ones that you found.
Oh
This
yeah,
one's
that creepy one.
with the cats, that cat girls that come in a box.
Oh, yeah. I heard about it, yeah.
I don't know. We don't know if they're playing in a box or they come in a box, but either way, it looks weird.
I don't feel comfortable right now.
I need an adult.
Wouldn't it be weird, right, if, like, one of these days that they eventually make it so, like, they make, like, one of those games, but it's just with loads of guys with big bulges in their pants instead? Just, like, completely other way. It's got no girls, you know, with, you know, massive boobs or like, you know, light shining. It's just guys just
That's
there.
the thing.
Sorry, this is just the review for the game I just mentioned.
Okay.
30% boobs, 70% interesting facts about Japan. You will forget immediately.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, this game isn't that bad.
Okay.
This game.
Long Live the Queen is okay.
It's not porn, basically.
I looked at the game and I just thought, oh god, it does look like one of these games. Then the trailer started up, and it's just started off with just 3 different ways of how you could start, and how those 3 different ways would lead you to your death.
Yeah. But you also unlock outfits, and that sounds really girly, but you
They boost your stats.
they boost your stats, and you have to decide what she studies. You get to study 2 things each week, and you boost your stats that way. And you need to reach certain levels in your stats, and it's numbers based, to be able to then proceed with the story with certain parts. When you're asked to do something and you choose to do something, there is a chance it will not work if your stats are not high enough.
Mm.
And there are outfits that can only be unlocked with your stats. And the stats, when you're learning, you can get a bonus.
You can get a boner by the other ones. I'd say the other games.
You get a bonus when you're with your studies, depending on your mood, what her mood is. You get a bonus, or it can be what's the word I'm thinking of? Negligible. No, not negligible. That makes no sense at all. It can have a negative effect. There you go.
Yeah.
Against your studies if you're in a bad mood.
Say if you're depressed, you're not exactly going to
learn about rolling and stuff and pretty stuff. So
I don't want to be a princess.
yeah, you want to play horses instead. I don't know why. I mean, it's good. It's just
It
fun.
really
It's a fun
does
little
play with
game.
your expectations. Because first I was playing it just happy and innocent. A few things happened. I was just like, oh, this is not quite good. But then suddenly it's just like, ooh, a plate of chocolates. Nom. Death. Why would you do this? I'm a 14-year-old girl.
Also, some things like the plate of chocolates, for example, you don't have a choice to say no.
Oh, really?
You're essentially the...
No. If you have to study your stats have to be at a certain point for you to know to say no or to be suspicious. If you have enough knowledge about the area they're meant to be from, you'll know they don't.
If you know about etiquette.
No, it's not just etiquette,
No,
because
just-
etiquette will say, well, it's not quite right to be sending me chocolates. Or if you don't have enough knowledge of the place where it's meant to come, knowledge where it's meant to come from. I know more about this game than you do.
Hey, I know that if you put enough stats into dogs, the dogs come along and just sniff
They'll
it
sniff
and
it,
growl
yeah, and tell you no. But also, if you let me finish, if you don't know enough about where it's from, then you won't. If you do know enough from where it's from, then you'll know that they don't actually supply chocolate, so it's odd. But if you don't have enough stats in those areas, she'll just go like, oh, chocolate, oh, yum, yum. And then she just eats it and you just don't get...
You just die.
Exactly. But otherwise, a maid will die instead in your place.
Or you can just say, throw the chocolates away, I'm not interested.
I don't think you can, actually.
No, that's not one of the options, but you're just like, hang on, something's weird about these
No,
chocolates.
you can't throw them away. They'll stay in your room. You're like, oh, I'll have one later or something like that. And
Then someone else dies.
And then, a maid or something dies. You're like, oh, well, what a shame.
You want the people that are trying to kill her? This is the way she talks about her maids. Oh, her maid's dead. Shit, I guess we have to get another one. Daddy, we need a new maid. Go to the maid shop.
Maid shop. Get a new one.
You can get this game as a demo off the website, the Hanukkah Games website, which is quite good. A free demo, sorry. It's actually, I would call it an interactive novel in a way, but it's quoted here to be classed as a life simulation by the Hanukkah Games, and I don't think it is.
Because...
A life simulator is like The Sims, isn't it? That's kind of like a life sim.
Yeah, and it's really unrealistic. I mean, they got other things though under the same thing, under the same category, and they really don't look like life simulator. Like,
I would argue that
Magical
because...
Diary.
Yeah, I would argue because a series of events, it's got linear events and it always happens in this particular order. If the events changed, then I would say, yeah, why not? It could be some type of life simulator. But because, there's a series of events, it's a story.
It's an interactive novel.
It's an interactive story.
But yeah, stop correcting me. I said the same thing.
I was agreeing with you.
Right, I mean, other things they got under the life simulator category is Magical Diary, Lucky Rabbit Reflex, Spirited Heart, and Summer Session. So they all sound about the same thing, really.
Yeah.
Or there's RPGs, which is Cute Night Kingdom,
Science Girls
What?
Deluxe. I can't believe Science Girls is a name of a game.
Science Girls.
Oh gosh, but yeah. Otherwise, it's a good game, just a fun.
You got to take it with a pinch of salt, though.
Yeah.
At least it's not like one of those games where literally all it is just like the most basic game mechanics, and literally is just pictures of anime girls with very low cut tops.
No. It's actually quite good on that.
Because she's 14. They're quite sensible with the clothing actually, which is quite nice.
Apart from the Magic Girl outfit, because that one's a bit.
Well, that's pretty cool. I kind of like. No, it is a bit revealing, but the way it's drawn, it isn't, so it's all right. Yeah. It's going to drive you mad, and you're going to rage a little bit when you play it, because she'll die for stupid reasons.
Yeah.
Really stupid reasons. There's this one guy on the Steam comments where he's putting capsules. Elodie, why would you push an arrow deeper into the wound to remove it? I know you don't know anything about battlefield medicine, but ramming something pointy into your organs does not make the wound better. It makes you die faster. So
You can either rage about it, or you will really be engrossed and really sympathise with this girl.
You'll want to kill her again, but basically you'll end up knowing the sequence of events that will happen, and so you'll keep having to go back to the beginning and try again, or you save it every so often.
Well, it's basically like a trial and error sort of thing. Like, you're gonna get it wrong at some point. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you sacrifice a lot. So, like, there'll be a lot of things that you sacrifice to be able to do other things. So you'll look like a complete idiot a lot of the time, especially at the ball. There's a big ball that happens, and unless you've got your stats high enough, you'll probably trip down the stairs, and then you'll fail to dance properly. You
won't know how to greet people.
You won't know how to greet people. You won't know the proper etiquette. You won't know how to use flattery to backchat this guy who's trying to embarrass you and push you into marriage. Or just do some stupid comments.
Like she'll know everything about intrigue.
There's this one time when she comes down the stairs and she sees this woman flirting with her husband, her father, because her mother's just died recently, and she comes down, and you have an option to try and use false flattery or just to be nice, and everyone's going to try and use false flattery because that's the more fun option. And if your flattery isn't high, your stats isn't high enough, then what you'll end up saying is, "My, what big boobs you have!"
And you're just like, Elodie, why?
And then the woman goes, "Well, when you come to my age, you'll understand that they come in handy," or something like that. But because she's saying that Elodie's got a small breast, but
we were trying to get away from the whole, chestal area with this game,
Just think, you focus in some areas, somehow it will go bad.
Yeah, it will affect.
You could be
areas.
a pro at combat, navy, but you would still die by chocolate.
All I'm going to say is, if people play this, make sure you can get your magic stats up as early as you can, for as early as you can.
Pro tip.
Yeah, that's the pro tip. Just get the magic amulet thing and get magic up,
Yeah.
because then you'll kick ass.
With the magic!
Also, sword training, because you need that for the final bit.
But no spoilers, no spoilers.
No spoilers, but magic and sword.
Yeah.
And then everything else. As much as you can. Just get her smart.
Do you give the game a paw of approval, though?
Yeah, sure.
I
would, because it's a bit of fun. It's kind of a bit like Papers, Please, where it's kind of weirdly addictive.
Yeah. You don't expect it to be as fun as it is, because it's not. You just wouldn't expect it to be fun. I think that's just like the basic thing. Like, I know that I checked this game up, and like, it's not that expensive either, so it's not as if you're going to be losing out tons of money by.
And over here, it's what? It's scroll up, Tom. Scroll down even. It's $6.99, so that's not incredibly expensive, but you'll play it again. It's replayable.
Yeah. Plus, you can always wait for it to go on deal or something like that. I mean, I know we just came out of like the winter sale, but there'll be others that you can get there if you don't want to spend that much for it. So,
Exactly.
I have actually seen like a few reviews, as you say, of that, and it is a kind of I don't want to say it's a weird game, because it's definitely at least got something to it, but it's like. as you say there, like, looking at it from the cover, you expect this to be like the traditional anime girl game, you know, and it's just like,
Yeah.
it isn't that, so.
But you're going to die.
By chocolate.
By chocolate.
Yeah.
So our listeners need to think twice.
At some point, suddenly they'll see the chocolate and be like, they were right. The chocolate of death.
Or they'll get to the final battle and they're like, I don't have my swordsmanship up enough, and then they'll, you know...
Apparently I didn't listen to you. What?
Well, it's either going to be swordsmanship or decoration.
Okay, that's two really random things. Okay, alright.
But they're not really important.
Still has a reason to be there.
I'll
Yeah.
stab you, or I'll throw some, you know, paint at you.
You've brought a knife. Well, I brought my flower arrangements.
Have at you, fiend!
What say you now, sir? Oh, the begonias are too well arranged. I am defeated.
All the colours! All the colours, no! Oh. Okay.
Ah, rose, sir. No, not the rose.
Well, you know, fine whip and all that.
Break leaf. That doesn't come into decoration. It comes into gardening, Hayley.
It's still decorating, like, you know, an area. I guess you can get with it.
Petal dance, you know.
Yeah.
That couple's gardening
That
and
does nothing.
dancing. The petals, they are doing nothing.
It lowers evasiveness. Oh, I'm such a nerd. I am actually currently wearing my Pokemask t-shirt, so I'm imbued with its power right now. Yeah.
Dance or decoration.
No, just with the power of awesomeness.
I wish there was a skill you could learn in Long Live the Queen now. Pokemon types.
What types? What? Oh dear, it looks like I'm going to be assassinated, but I've thwarted them with my knowledge of Pikachu.
Oh, if only.
Now they think I have an electrical mouse at my beck and whim.
Comes in pretty handy, actually.
Oh dear.
Products.
Well, you now know. Now someone has to go and make a mod of that. You know, that the final fight or whatever can be solved by Pikachu.
Gyarados.
Gyarados. What?
That would actually come.
Well,
A love disc. A love disc.
Naval battle.
Magikarp. Magikarp saves the day
Naturally.
because it eats the chocolates for you.
That's it. You just have a Magikarp with you, and you feed it. You just bring it to. If you have a Magikarp, you can sacrifice it.
Yeah.
With what? Nothing can penetrate its scales.
And you can give it to, you know, that person that was flirting with your dad. Just give him a Magikarp for a present. There you go. Magikarp can solve everything, and long live the queen.
True fact.
True fact. True fact. Is there anything else you want to talk about that before we move on to the final game?
No, I shall give up the throne to you.
Give it up to the slopes
Up you
across
gates.
the world. So I have the final review of this week. I very rarely do reviews actually for this show. Often we have you guys and Chris, and that's more than enough to do it. But I will fill in. I'm not used to doing reviews. When was my last review?
Filling. It's not filling in. It's a special series. It's a special episode.
Yeah, exactly.
The host is talking.
It's one and only.
I remember there was that one time that Chris hosted, and I still didn't review a game, and I was just being uber lazy. Still.
I didn't realise that.
You were just a viewer that day.
Yeah.
I was a contributor, but not as contributing.
I was just the guy in the back of the class going, ha! You know, just out all the time, just every now and then, but...
I'm flicking paper at people.
Essentially, yeah.
Sir, can I go to the toilet?
Yeah. So, my game that I'm reviewing this week, as everyone knows, I know that I drum along about it. I've talked about NBA constantly on this bloody podcast. But I'm a big fan of sports games. I've been a fan of this game. I won't really call it a sports game, because even though I know it does go for a sport, it's so bombastic and so over the top, it's hard to really call it like a simulator. Like NBA, FIFA, they're all simulators of their sport. You can't really call SSX, which is a snowboarding game, a simulator, because it fucking isn't. There's just no way like that these people would do this.
I kind of imagine it more like Tony Hawk, like the old Tony Hawks.
Yeah. They were like, they were. Well, the earlier Tony Hawks were like more like Sims, but like eventually they became like Tony Hawk's Underground 2, where you're facing Bam Margera in like a prank off across the world that just happens to involve a little bit of skating, which was a bit weird. SSX doesn't. The previous SSXs haven't had a story; they're more of a campaign, and I've played all of them, by the way. So from the very first one that came out on the PlayStation 2, very early in the PlayStation 2, I've played all of them up until the recent one, which I'm reviewing now, which is the 2012 edition. This is the one that was called the Deadly Descent. So before you had tricks, racing, the whole story of this, because there is like a mini story, is that there hasn't been SSX in ages, there hasn't been a snowboarding competition in ages, and then the first character, which is Zoe, which is the character I often play as online, because I've played as her all the way throughout the series. She gets challenged, that's really bad. Challenged by Griff, who's just another character. And basically, they want to own the 9 most deadliest mountains in the world. And
is there a reason for that?
Not really, just because they're rad. Shaka, bruh. So,
well, like own as in like the snowboard down it, right?
Snowboard down.
So it's a contest now.
Yeah. They're basically trying to, basically stamp their authority in all the mountains that they can. The problem is with that is that all the different mountains give now different challenges in the sense of that you can now officially die in SSX. So basically, what will happen is that there are your usual racing tracks, your usual trick runs. Where you try and get as many points, and the trick system in this is brilliant. But the new thing to this one is now you've got the Deadly Descent, so let's kind of go through them. So one of them, you have limited visibility, and it's inside of a cracking mountain, so you can actually fall between chasms and die. So basically you have to equip gear, which you can level up with your character. It's got like a mini RPG-like system onto it. That basically it will like beam out, and it will show you where, ahead of you, where the actual land is, and stuff like that.
Okay, but it's all in snow.
Yeah, it's all in snow. Yeah.
Stupid question.
Yeah. Well, there's other parts of it where like basically it's like a slalom case, and you've got to try and dodge going into these ravines, but you can equip like these ice axes that will help you handle quicker. So basically, all 9 of them have different things. You have like a fly suit to fly over chasms in one of them, which basically when you double that with your trick runs, basically you get onto a big trick, you trick for a little while, use your wingsuit to get boost up again in midair, then trick again, then land. So there's like loads of combo abilities with that. It's mental.
I'm pretty sure that wouldn't even really work, would it?
Well, not really, no, of course not.
What if, do you have like a base where you're out and you walk around and talk to people?
No, they're basically all it is the tracks.
Okay.
Because they had that roughly in SSX 3, which came out in the last gen systems. They had a thing where basically you could go to like a lodge and you can upgrade things there. But it's done here that basically it's like an overworld map. You pick the races and then you ride them, but there's like tons of them all across the world. And basically like you spin a globe around and it's got all the 9 mountains. But it's not just the 9 mountains. It's the 9 mountains. And then it's got like all the sister mountains that are around it, which you've got all your trick stuff. And then like the big mountains are like your survival ones.
Okay.
The only story that's told is once you complete one of the Deadly Descents, you move on to another one, you take control of a new character, and there's like a bit of a back and forth between them and Griff about who's going to win, and they have like a video package on why this particular thing is so dangerous. Like, one of them's like thin air with Mount Everest. You can ride down Mount Everest, and one of them's like you need an oxygen pack, and you have to ration as you're trying to get down the mountain as quick as you can your oxygen, and when you inhale it, so you can actually. And like one of the cool things about it is that as you're going down and you're trying to get down as quick as you can, trying to beat this other guy, your vision's blurring because you're running out of oxygen. Then you've got to keep tapping your button to try and get it up for that moment. So it's like adds the other element of gameplay, which is.
So you're controlling when they breathe.
Yes. Because they've got to ration their oxygen, which is on a backpack with them.
Breathing simulator.
Yeah.
Wow.
And obviously, if you don't do it, if you don't do it, then your character will die or pass out, whatever. It's not like they die and they go in a coffin or anything like that. But you know what I mean.
So they literally won't breathe.
Yeah, they won't breathe. Yeah, they will just die, and you'll have to try again. But that's only for that run. You don't have to do it for all the runs. It's just because that one has thin air. You know, it doesn't have enough oxygen.
Yeah.
So for the other ones, you don't have to constantly keep pressing a breathe button. Fucking hell, that would kill everything.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Didn't they do something like that for like Alone in the Dark? They did a blinking thing during the cutscenes, and you had to keep blinking, and it like ruined all the cutscenes. I'm sure there was something like that. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't think that was Alone in the Dark.
It was
I don't-
something.
What's the blinking one?
The blinking. No.
Oh, the SCP.
Yeah, that's the SCP.
No, it wasn't something like that. It was like
Game mechanics.
I don't know. I can't remember anyway. But
173.
How long does like a run normally take?
it depends. If you're doing a survival, it could last a long time because some of them you're trying to go quick, some of them you're trying to go slow because you're trying not to flip off the edge of a mountain and die, of course. So
Yeah.
you're taking them slow. I say the average run takes about for a race and trick about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And then you're done. But there's a lot of tracks to get through, and the survival runs are the big selling point of it. And going forward from there. So once you've done the campaign, you beat Griff for all the 9 deadly descents, and you kind of get a grasp on roughly what you should be doing, because really the campaign is just like the prologue onto the real meat and bones of the actual gameplay. Because the gameplay in this is a lot like SSX before, except they've changed the way that the combo system works. So before you could do loads of tricks, you build up your meter, you do more tricks, which gets you more points. In this one, you get your super tricks very early. So basically you only have to land you could even get your super tricks after landing one normal big trick. And then you got access to ones where basically your guy's like flipping it like a fucking rope around his head, just just around the air, just going mental. There's one where one of the super moves is where like your character thinks that they're actually like bobsledding, and they just like go down onto their thing, spinning around the air, just mental like that. And some of the drops in this game, once you do the big air, you're like in real life they would have broken legs, like their shins would be in their head. But it's bombastic, it's crazy, so they let you get away with that. So once you've done the campaign and you've got your characters leveled up a little bit, they'll be roughly about level 5. You can go onto like the world track, and it's got like 157 different events for you to complete, and they've got like loads of different things. And one of the cool things about this game, if you've got a lot of other people that play it, it saves all their data online. So when you play it and you're going down like a run, it has the ghosts of every other person that has played on your friends list.
Oh, cool.
So when I recently re-got it, because it was free recently, when I was going down trying to beat all these scores, which I did because I'm amazing in this game, I could see Chris, doing his tricks around me, trying to beat my score, because that was his run, which was saved, and then it replayed it for me as I was going down, so I could see roughly how he was doing. So it makes it so like when you're racing, you're not just racing against the AI, who have like a set time that they will finish. You're racing against your friends, because it's got the ghost tracks that it goes along. You can see the path that they took.
Really cool.
So that's multiplayer, but without the other player.
Yeah, exactly. It's like multiplayer without them actually being there. So
It does have multiplayer, doesn't it?
yeah, well, it's not really
That's
multiplayer. Yeah,
nowadays.
I know what you mean, but
Yeah, most games so.
yeah. So you've got that. I love setting high scores. I love it, especially in this game, because I can set ridiculous high scores. But one of the cool things about this, like I said, they've changed the combo system. Is essentially now what will happen what a lot of people used to bug the game out and do for like in previous games, is what they would do is that they would purposefully get themselves like stuck in like a half pipe, so they could go backwards and forwards between like a set in the area, and they could get ridiculous scores and it wouldn't really bother them. In SSX, it's all about your combo. It's all about getting the perfect trick run. So when you're going in, you're getting your tricks. If you stop and try and do jumping tricks or just little tricks, but taking it slower, it will remove your combo. So the slower you go, the less combo you get. So essentially you need to go really quick, really fast, and just hit the big moves. And basically it builds up to the fact that now, instead of trying to glitch the game out to get the best score, you literally have to race down the mountain full pace and pull off the best stuff that you can, which is much better. Yeah. Like I feel a lot more cooler if I beat someone's high score, because instead of jumping and doing little tricks to get across the finish line, trying to get an extra few thousand, I'm speeding down as quick as I can to keep my combo going,
Yeah.
So it's a lot more, in your face. It's a lot more interactive in that sense, which I do like the way they did that. So
And do you have like international scoreboards and such?
Yeah. Like I said, it saves everything. So like, I'll move on to like the bit that I'm loving playing at the moment, which is the multiplayer. It's not really multiplayer, but what happened is that essentially they've got a massive gambling anti-pot kind of version of the globe, so you can play all the tracks again. But when you play them, you basically have to, because all the way through you're leveling up your people, you're buying new boards, you're getting new gear to level up and get better, make your character quicker, faster, trick better. But when you go online to their world online mode, basically when you play, you're basically putting some of your money in a pot. So like for instance, the high rollers are like, you pay 5 million credits, which is a lot of credits, for a chance of maybe winning 30, or you could walk out with 2 or nothing.
I remember you saying something about this last week. Sorry, when you were playing online, that you were saying that you showing off like you get so much money because you're always good on these runs.
Yeah, I have over 200 million credits.
Oh my gosh.
Because I say that I have earned over 400 million. I've spent 200 million on literally upgrading all my characters. So like, I have made a lot because I'm really good at the game. I can enter these 5 million anti-pots and I'll walk out with 30 million all the time.
But are there still upgrades that you can still get?
Yeah. I basically, the flat level cap is level 10, but they actually updated the game. So now what happens is once you get to level 10, you pay a big sum of money and you can now get them up higher. So basically you have to spend money to get them up. So you spend money to unlock the ability to still keep getting experience.
Yeah.
So you can level up and get higher boards and even higher stuff, and get all this different gear. And the geotags as well, where basically if you fail on a trick run, you don't die instantly. You can rewind the track, which you'll get like a penalty for, because obviously you fucked up, so you still get a penalty. But you can go back on the track and continue, so you won't die. Unless you want to die, but who really wants to?
How much does this unlock cost?
It costs you 1,000 points for your combo per second that you have to rewind. And that's a lot. That will count. Imagine you having a 20 times combo, which is the cap for the amount of multiplier you can, for 10 seconds. That's 20 times 10,000. That's a lot of points to lose out on. So you still get penalised quite a bit. But when you're doing that, if you tap a button, so one of the cool things about it, so even when you fail, you can still earn money, because when you fail, you rewind, and as you're rewinding, you can place geotags where you died, essentially. So what it is basically is that when you're doing tracks, you'll see these small little globes, which are the geotags. If you collect them, you get loads of money because they're put in like really hard places to get.
Okay.
So you can do that in any of the game modes as well. So like you can buy them. You can buy like legendary ones, which are like hundreds of thousands of coins, put it somewhere and hope that no one gets it for ages, because the longer it stays there without anyone finding it, you get more money back when someone does eventually find it.
Okay.
So it's like a long-term investment. So I've got them literally dotted around everywhere, because I literally just stock full of them, and like every time I fuck up.
Do you have to get them, or can other people get them?
So you set them.
Yeah,
and then other people can get them, but obviously in the same run you could be collecting other people's.
Okay, but then do you get money for them collecting yours?
Yes, for the length of time that it's been there without being found.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you get like a small bonus for setting it, because they want to entice people for setting them. But when you do get it, when someone does get it, if it's been there for like a week, you're going to get a shit ton of cash. If it's only been there for like an hour, you'll get something, but you won't get as much, because you didn't put it in an area that really most people would be able to. Like if you put it, like you rewinded because maybe you crashed into a tree, it's still on the track, so people are still going to drive, ride down there. That's still on the tracks. People are going to find it. But if you do it like you fly off the mountain accidentally, and then as you're rewinding you press it, that's going to be really hard for people to find. They have to legitimately fail to get it,
Yeah.
So like you're going to get a lot of money if someone accidentally makes the same mistake you did. So you've got that. So there's loads of little bits that you're doing, so even as you're failing, you're still earning money, you're still getting rewarded. But it's like, one of the cool things about it though is that while I'm really good at the tricks, I'm not so good at the races, but I'll still do okay with them. But on the survival, basically the survival runs go as such that they remove all your gear. So some of these runs that you needed, like you needed armor to stop yourself getting killed by falling trees and stuff like that, because you will get splattered, or the big ravines that you're supposed to cross with a wingsuit. or these big caverns that you can't see where you're going. They remove all the gear and they say, okay, 5 million pot goes in, you pay to get in. The longer you can survive without anything, the more coins you get.
Wow.
And like literally, it's like a thing that you're going at a snail's pace. Like I know I did the ice one, and I did it really bad. I actually walked out with like maybe 100,000 credits out of putting 5 million credits in.
Jeez.
Yeah, like you can get penalised huge, but literally because like without the ice axes, you can't turn. Like it's so hard to turn; it takes ages. You know, it's like you basically walking on ice, like you're and going at a very fast speed. You ain't gonna turn. Like it's really hard to do it. So like you've got to take it at like a snail's pace. But the problem with that is that there's times that you have to jump over ravines. You have to do it, so that you have to know when to speed up, when to slow down. And it's like it's this moment where you're just like clutching your controller, just hoping to hell that you've made the right decision. And it's those moments that like they're like the end game. That's when you really like you gamble it all, just on the case that you might get a great run and you might walk out with like 50 million credits.
Jeez.
So like yeah, it's
God.
it's like the ones where you're doing like the ones without the wingsuits. And like you're jumping over huge ravines, and normally you need the wingsuits to get across them, but you can just make it if you go quick enough. So when you're doing it without any of the gear, you're literally bombing down and just hoping to hell as you're in the middle of there. You might as well put your controller down, like I hope it lands, I hope it lands, I hope it lands.
It's the Homer Simpson bit, isn't it?
Yeah, going across the gorge. Yeah, it's like
I'm gonna make it. Hey, the gorge road. Oh,
I'm gonna make it. Oh fuck! And then
Have you made it?
Oh, a few times I've done okay. There's been a few times that I've got to the first jump thinking I've aced it, and then suddenly I'm like, wait a minute, I needed to go another bit faster, and I literally just go straight down the mountain and walk out with nothing. It's been a few times that's happened, so so yeah, the cool thing about that is that literally they'll have new events on every. They all overlap. So one event will finish, one will boot up in its place, and because it's not just 8 hours and then you've got like a whole new set, because they overlap, you could play an event and then a new one will definitely be available for you. You do that event, a new one will definitely be available for you. So you could literally just chain it all together.
Do you think that because I imagine it's all run off servers, right?
Yeah.
So eventually they're gonna get shut down, aren't they?
Unfortunately, yeah. It's EA who made the game, so they will do it.
But do you think they'll bring up a next one?
I certainly hope so. I mean, they aced this one. I love SSX because in terms of gameplay and like because I'm so good at it now, I love playing it. Like sometimes you love a game because you are good at it, and you love a game because it gives you something new. I love this because it added a different dimension. It had the survival aspects, which I've never seen before, like in a snowboarding game. The fact is that like the whole series has been built on you go fast, you get points. You go fast, you win the race. And it's like suddenly like you go fast, you go headfirst into a tree and fucking die. You know, like it's like you need to take it slow. You need to plan your route accordingly. So it's kind of cool that it has both sides of it. But one of the things I do hope, like. They gave it away for free on the Xbox Gold, so now it's got like a huge influx of people playing the game, right? So like the online portion of it now everyone's doing the bets, everyone's anteing up, everyone's doing the 5 million stuff. They're even doing like the 0 stuff, so you can get extra credit, so you can then buy into the more expensive ones. But like in a month's time, do I see that staying once they've released more games? Not really. I mean, the game is old at this point. You know, I know it's only 2 years old, but in gaming, that's still pretty old.
That's ancient in gaming.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything on a new one?
No, nothing yet. To be honest, it was kind of up and down whether this one was going to be made, because the last one was good, but it was so long ago even before then. The last one before this one was SSX 3, which was on like the original Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
This is the only...
Seeing the case.
Yeah, this is the only Xbox or Xbox 360 or PS3 SSX, and that's over the entire period. That's a long time.
Well, you look at it this way. Any game that EA would make now would have to be for the new console, new generation. But you see them taking this to the new generation.
I would love a new next gen SSX. That would be sexy. It really would.
But they'd be spending a lot of money on it, and do you see it as like a viable investment?
You're trying to get an answer out of me here. I would buy it, but I don't know many other people would. That's the thing about it. I think the only chance that they have of making this, I mean, SSX itself stands for, like motocross, snowboarding, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like maybe if they do a game that incorporates all three, I don't know. That's always been a question of fans. Maybe they do one that has like motocross and snowboarding and surfing or whatever they do alongside it.
Yeah.
Maybe they do that, but I've got no inkling. I don't want to do motocross. I want to do snowboarding. I love snow. I remember playing like Call Borders for like the PlayStation 1. Do you guys remember that at all?
I don't remember.
I
No.
don't know.
Like it was a game that I played like to death when I was a kid, and then they had like Shaun White snowboarding as well. But as soon as SSX came out, like nothing could beat it. It was the best snowboarding game, and yeah, the thing is, though, there's been no news about it. It was brought out in 2012. It's 2015 now. If they were going to bring it back, they probably would have done it by now.
They would have announced something by now.
Yeah, that's the issue with that, and I hope they do. But what else can they do? They did the survival stuff, and kind of makes you wonder what else could they do, really. The only other thing they could do is go back to their roots and make it so they used to have, like... This is a little bit more realistic because they're going down actual mountains that exist in the world, and they've put ramps in and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But in like the old ones, you could actually you could trick in a pinball machine. Like there were like crazy tracks. Like there was one that was in a Japanese inspired theme park, and you could literally grind like the Ferris wheel and stuff like that. It was mental.
So that's a bit more skateboarding, Tony Hawk style, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like it was basically more arcadey. You know what I mean? Like it was more on like the craziness of it. This one went a little bit more. I don't want to say serious because at the end of the day, you're still jumping over massive ravines, doing like uber tricks, like basically throwing the board into the stratosphere and catching it with your teeth and putting it onto your, like that sort of stuff. It's just bonkers. But it's still way more realistic than the first few were. Where they were having massive like trick fests. On these tracks that apparently had unlimited budget on fireworks because they were just going off non-stop, and stuff like that. But so I don't expect. So that's the reason why I played it. I still play this one because I love it. I love SSX, and I hope they make another one, but I don't see it happening. So I'll just keep playing this one and owning people. They are my slopes. I own them slopes. They belong to me. Anyone who thinks they want to play on them, I'm only borrowing them from me. I own them. They're mine. Okay.
Let's pay you rent.
Yeah. They have to pay me credits to play on them. That's where they think. Listen, I was just saying, that I have to ante in. I don't have to ante in for shit. I own those. I own that stuff. When you ante in, you're giving that money to me. I am the owner of SSX. It's one game that I actually get like almost obnoxiously confident on. Is there a game that you guys are obnoxiously confident on? To the point that you would annoy people saying I'm good at this game? Because we're all pretty modest.
I've learned to turn that down ever since I used to say that to Hayley, then suddenly she got better at the games I would tell her about.
But what about you, Hayley? Is there any that you're obnoxiously confident about playing?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
What about Don't Starve? Are you really confident about that?
Don't Starve? No. I haven't done the story yet, so...
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not a pro at that.
Okay. Well, this is my game anyway. I flat out say I'm going to be really annoying to anyone who picks this up and thinks they can beat my scores, because I will get all up in their grill. I really will.
Really, Tony? That doesn't sound like you at all.
I'll get across them, man. My slopes, okay? My slopes. They belong to me.
I've got a question about it.
Go on.
About the upgrades for the characters. Do you have anything that to train their individual stats to increase their charisma, stamina?
It's not so much charisma wouldn't do anything anyway, but basically it goes down to three things, which is essentially your boost, because you're constantly boosting, your tricks and your speed, and when you level up, they level up. You don't have to put points into them, but some of the characters are better at doing things than others. So Zoe is a mix between boost and trick, which is what I like. Elise is my racer because she's race and boost. So you can kind of choose which character fits best with what you're doing.
But then, what if? So I'm just thinking hypothetically, because in the next game, you could make a character and then train up the stats almost to make it a bit more, draw people in to put more investment of their time into it.
I would like it if they almost did I know it's really hard to kind of state it, but a MMOE type experience where maybe you can go into a lodge and That way you can maybe make crews. Maybe do 2v2 tricks lines. So you and a mate combine your trick score against them and their mate.
That would definitely be next gen.
Yeah, stuff like that. But make it very multiplayer focused. Make it so the good thing about this game is that it starts it off where you want to add other people as friends because you want to go against the high scores. Make it so you don't have to add them. That just happens naturally in the next installment. So, let's say me and, I know Chris plays the game. Me and Chris go on, we're like, we feel like owning some people on this particular track. Let's go do like a 2v2 or like do a relay run or something where one person does half of it and the other person does half, sort of like that. If they did something like that, I would eat it up. But
then that would involve having your own character, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to make your own character, but I don't know where. This is all like speaking about my perfect SSX. It ain't gonna happen. Like, it's EA. Like,
yeah,
EA ain't gonna put that much money in this.
That would be a massive element that would really take it to next gen and draw in the crowds.
Yeah. And, you could start off, like, one of the things I'd love for them to be able to do is to put that system of the betting and everything like that, and put it, like, as, like, the forefront of the game, where, because I say when you bet, right, all you have to do to get your money back is make a respectable score, and you get roughly your money back, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. So, like, what I would like for them to do is maybe make like a big multiplayer experience. You create your own character, but you have to play against, the lower tracks, the less difficult tracks to build up your stats. I'm not asking for a story mode because I don't think people are looking for that when they buy this game. So, but a longer experience.
Some tracks available to you at your certain level, or you could introduce like a respect, like a cred.
Yes, like I said, build your crew. So like when one of your friends does a really good trick down a mountain, maybe it adds to your, you get money for that as well because you're part of their crew or something like that. Just loads of these really kind of, I know they're gimmicky multiplayer elements, but I would eat that up in a game like this because I love the game.
That does sound like really good. See, but do you see them doing that? Because that would take a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of development.
No, they won't do it. I guarantee you they won't do it. And it wouldn't. You know what? It wouldn't even be that hard because what you could do, you could technically take all the tracks that you've done in the previous games and bump them into one multiplayer experience. And then you've got over, I'd say, 200 tracks available to you. But whether or not they would do that, because they're going to have to upgrade all those tracks and make it, next gen-ish, whether or not they would do that, or put the money to it. I don't see them doing it. I think it's the last one we'll get, but that's just my opinion. So, it's okay though. I own those slopes, so at least they're mine. They belong to me.
Until they close the servers down.
You have to be such a party pooper sometimes, don't you? You mentioned Kingdom Hearts on this podcast. You're saying they're going to shut my damn servers down.
Well, I mean, how long did it take for them to shut down the sports servers? 2 years?
They've actually got the esports servers on Origins.
Have they?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so shocked if they shut down the servers this year.
That'll be 3 years, won't it?
Yeah, that is technically quite a long time for EA to keep a server up for a game.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And it's not like, because the game is basically just keeping all the tracks. I mean, it wouldn't be that expensive just to keep one server on, just keep hold of all that data. But it's EA; they'll make money anyway. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, it isn't costing us that much, but it's still costing us money. We'll axe it. But
yeah, that's true.
I'm not.
Once you've finished selling the game, you're keeping the servers and you're paying for the servers. So in the end, you'll end up losing as much as you made. So you've got to draw the line somewhere. And Game Development Tycoon taught me that well.
Yeah. Well, EA, we all know that it's like, I know what I'm getting into here. I know EA's track record. I know they more than likely will pull the plug soon. It's just the way it is. I'm used to it by now. But, oh well. It's what we can expect, I guess. That's the only thing. But I do love this game. If you guys want a genuine thrill ride, if you want to feel like you're going like 100 miles an hour down a mountain doing bombastic tricks, there's no game that makes it feel that good except for this game. Like, the good thing about this game is that it's good for new players because you'll feel like you're doing amazing, even though you're not, right? The game makes you feel like you're doing amazing, and when yeah, but like when you get good at the game, then there's plenty of there. Like then you go, okay, I feel confident enough that I can get good scores. Let's go online. Let's start putting some credits on the line that I've earned from doing the the easier stuff. Let's put my money where my mouth is, literally, and actually, bet some coins and see if we can actually win some races. So it's good.
I have a question.
Go on.
Can you buy these coins on through, say, the Microsoft Store?
No, you can't.
I'm pretty sure
Do you
the
have
next
to
one
only earn
may.
them? Because I was going to say, it sounds like an EA thing to have, in game purchases.
Yeah, I think there's definitely... I think there is ways that you can purchase credits with money, but the way that they don't put like a big flashing thing saying buy coins here, it's very, very, very hidden for an EA game. Like, you have to look through their downloadable list to be able to find it. And, to be honest, when you can do... the online games for zero coins, you're bound to walk out with at least something. I know it's not going to be like in the millions. You might, if you win the entire event, you might only get 100,000 coins, but you're guaranteed to get something for playing a game that you like to play. You know what I mean? So it's
just
quite generous.
Like EA, because for them to give it away for free at over Christmas as well.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like EA at all, but at the end of the day, I think probably because the SSX series isn't one of their major earners, like FIFA, all their other sports games, this one gets treated a little bit better towards its fans. I always think that this game, especially, was done as like a love letter to the fans of this sort of thing. I know it's not like, oh, we're not doing it in Japanese pinball machines, but it's still a really kick-ass snowboarding game that, to be honest, we didn't have a great likeliness of getting in the first place. I'll take this and I'll love it. So. But I've talked about SSX way too long, so...
That's alright.
If you guys, honestly, if you fans are playing the game and you want to try and beat my scores, you fucking hell, you can try. Ask me and I'll put my game on.
Oh my god, I feel like I need to try and just rub it in your face. God.
You can try. You won't succeed.
You literally scream, "Where is your god now? He's not on your mountain."
I used to play Tony Hawk's 3. Yeah, I was pro at that.
Oh, well.
Oh, no. I know what you do. You do a Lord of the Rings quote just to make it all the worse. Oh, it's the king under the mountain. Oh, but I'm forgetting. You don't have a mountain, and you're not the king.
Where's your Arkansas?
Well, they're my mountain. Everest belongs to me. The Rockies, they belong to me. All of it belongs to me. So.
I actually do want to get the game now and just get better and beat it just so I can do the quotes, record it on a podcast, and just be like, yes.
Good luck. Good luck. That's all I can say. Right, guys, I think that's us for this week. We've spoken about Wasteland 2, Long Live the Queen, and SSX 2012. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's podcast. Nice little joyful talk between us three. As I said, there will be some pretty big news. We are planning a few little changes, but we'll keep you guys in the dark about that, just to keep you scintillated.
We'll just tease you.
Yes.
Changes. Oh, mysteries and changes abound.
But basically, there might be big changes that will not only give our podcasters, and friends of mine here that do the podcast with us, a little bit more airtime to give you maybe a little bit different content. It may actually give a different platform in terms of how we can do this podcast, and hopefully get it to many more eyes and views and stuff. So, if you guys do enjoy, just know that we're not just doing this each week for the sake of doing it. We're always trying to improve, and we're always chatting about it. So, there might be big. I won't say big changes, but there might be big changes to the way that you access this podcast going forward. So, looking forward to that. It could be awesome for you guys. But apart from that, we hope you have a great week. Tell us about your gaming experiences in the comments section below, and any questions that you would like to ask us. We're more happy to answer them. But for now, guys...
Singing.
Huh?
Or comment on our singing.
Yeah, because, that was pretty awesome. Yeah. I we actually had one person that was like, I enjoyed the podcast, but the singing at the end was awful. And I was like, fuck off.
Do you remember that? Because you started crying, and I said, "Oh, good job, commenter. You made Haley cry."
Yeah.
I wasn't really crying. That was my drama queen over OTT
I know.
crying.
I cried in the shower at that, yeah.
But we don't like to make Haley cry, pretend or otherwise.
I hurt myself over those comments, so I really did.
Ooh.
If I am cut, do I not bleed?
Okay, we're out of here, guys. Thank you a lot for listening to the podcast. We'll catch you again next week for more gaming podcast goodness. So goodbye, everyone.
Peace out.
Bye.